Welcome to another episode of the Thru Podcast. Hey, this is episode 200 something. I feel like I want to take a guess is saying it's 210?
205.
205. Look at me.
Looking into the future.
My future bright. Let's get the partnerships out the way. Shout out to Definitely Eating. If you want to check out all their merchandise, make sure you log on to definitellyeating.com. You see the painting right behind me. That's the probably like his.
You see half of the painting.
See half of the painting, but yeah,
you still see it.
You still see what it is.
He's definitely in.
Yeah. That's like his one of his biggest logos. He has the Jelly Bean logo, and he also has the old school Pac-Man logo. So
go with your pacifiers too.
Pacifiers,
If you got a baby, if you're a raver, whatever the hell you do, just go with your pacifiers.
The ravers use pacifiers. Wow.
I seen that shit. I'm not a raver. I don't know.
I think it's because they
LSD tabs on them, and then
it's because they're rolling.
I think the log jaw. They just want to chew on something and shit.
They're rolling. They're rolling out there.
Just be honest. I don't know what these kids do nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an old man, Ricky. Ricky's older than me.
That's a mine.
Also, shout out to Monterey Bay Creations. You dream it, they create it. For all your custom apparel, stickers, stitching, you name it, they got you. So make sure you tap in with them. Follow them on Instagram at Monterey Bay Creations. Also, shout out to the Fish House located in Watsonville. If you're out there in the area, make sure you stop by and enjoy yourself some seafood if you like seafood. Conglomeratebythesea.com. Make sure you check out that website, and that's where you get our latest episodes. Got some dope merchandise. Yep.
Set your appointment with the Candy King.
Yeah, set your appointment with the Candy King if you're looking to get some tooth gems, bling out your teeth. You know what I mean?
A little something for the Halloween.
Yeah, a little something for Halloween. Show that bright smile. Everybody wants to see a bright smile, so make sure you tap in with them.
It's only the gem that's bright. Your teeth are just not white.
That sparkles.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
You haven't brushed your teeth in 2 weeks, but you know what I mean, that shit glowing
Brush
still.
your teeth before you come see the Candy King, though. You don't want to smell that.
For real. Anybody I'm missing? I think it's cool, right? I think it's cool for sure. All right, gentlemen, how we doing, man? We in this couch, we living.
Tuesday.
2022. We in October now. Are you guys feeling spooky?
You're older.
I'm a year older.
Well, that's right,
Happy
bro.
birthday, bro.
Yeah, thank you.
How was it yesterday?
It was cool, man. It was smooth. Yeah,
You were
can't complain.
right? You were chilling.
I think that was Sunday.
That was the day before.
Yeah,
right?
that was the day
Yeah.
before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was the day before. I mean, I just went to work. I had like a little half day at work, and then that's when I went to go.
They didn't give you
hang
nothing
out.
at work. Here, try this, son.
Oh, I think my supervisor gave me like an 8th.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's nice.
So it was chill. It was cool.
How many wine bottles you drink? I seen you're in your wine lately.
Yeah, I've been on my wine shit lately, but yesterday I only had a glass.
Only a glass?
Only a glass.
You
Had to
wild,
keep it.
bro. You wild.
I only remember a glass.
Only a glass.
Only one bottle.
It's
you know,
Hey, it's
so
one of
like
Those huge glasses.
You put it on top of the fucking wine bottle.
only one bottle. I was holding the wine bottle like a Hennessy bottle.
Yeah.
I was holding that shit like a Henny. I was
The
pouring
chill,
some.
nigga. You don't do that with
Like
wine.
Kanye back in the day with the Henny bottle.
Yeah.
You're supposed to taste it, but he was just chugging it.
I used to do that. I used to chug wine. Thinking like, what, bro? This is supposed to be a race, Whoever finishes first, right? Yeah. But it was cool, man. It was a good time.
Yeah.
Good times. 27. Feeling it in my
you're
bones.
Do you feel like
Is
you
it
don't,
really my
do you feel like
Feeling
you've
in my
reached that age
bones.
where you don't get carded already, or not yet?
There's a couple spots where they know me, so I don't get carded. But
I'm regular
Shit,
now.
I'm known.
Grown up.
I'm known. But sometimes,
Regular.
But sometimes I'll have it out already just before they even check it. Yeah, pull it out the pocket before they even.
Yeah,
Check
get
it,
out
yeah.
the way.
Yeah, get out the way, But
And
yeah.
then Ricky just got back.
Where
I
you
got
go?
back.
Yeah,
I did
you're
come
road
back.
running.
I'll be out. I'll
You're
be
a
out on the road.
That's
I'll
what
be
the word
fine.
is. You're a road runner.
Nah, but yeah, just got back from Arkansas. It was tight.
How long's that drive again?
Well, I didn't drive there. I'm still up there.
Is it hella nice out
okay.
there?
Yeah.
I heard
Come
like
on, you know the
right?
guy.
I've driven there. It's like a 23-hour drive.
First class?
Easy one.
Something like first class.
I heard that
My
place
first
is like
class is
that.
My lady
Coquita?
treated me good. She got me first class. Yeah.
Yeah. What kind of designer was the jet? Was it Louis? Or was it
Oh,
Coach?
no, it's all good. It was called Spirit.
He's in first class. His wife is in.
She said, "Oh,
The
yeah.
coach.
Thanks, babe.
You want some? You want some?
You can't sit here. Go back. Nah, but yeah, that shit was tight. Definitely like a lot of trees there. They're starting to change colors. I'm about to go back next month where they're supposed to say you drive through the mountains and it's like pink, orange,
Oh, that's
green,
where
like different color
Leaves.
leaves.
What
yeah.
season?
Okay.
What season would that be for them?
fall, right?
Is
Was
it
that
fall?
fall?
October season? Oh,
Okay.
What is it? What is it? Fall?
Fall.
Is it fall? Yeah,
Okay.
fall. So I'm excited to go see that. I'll be there.
No, but I
next
have
month.
heard
So
of that. That
y'all won't see me the whole month of November. And happy Halloween, happy Thanksgiving ahead of time.
And we
I have heard
we
of
got
that.
a
That's where they
guest?
have like those huge areas with like the beautiful like leaves and all that shit, huh?
Yeah, I think it's called the Ozark Mountains, not to be mistaken with the Ozark show. It wasn't filmed there already as.
He looked like he could be in Ozarks right now. Look, he got the ponytail in the back, got the checker hat. Tim.
But yeah, so
Shit.
that's gonna be time. Looking forward to that. Yeah.
For sure,
Okay,
for sure.
okay.
Well, listen, man, we're here with a special guest. It's been quite some time since we had a guest here, so it's very
Right, when was the
exciting.
last one?
It was
4
good,
weeks now. Maybe.
probably like a month, yeah.
Yeah.
We're just
Shit.
talking our shit.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
Let's get serious for one.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So, man, I want to welcome our guest. If you want to introduce yourself, however you want to introduce yourself, let the people know.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thanks for having me. My name is Zach Westin, and I run the Westin Collective, which is a photography nonprofit. And we're based out in Seaside on top of Broadway Street,
Hey.
partnered with the Martin Luther King School of the Arts School.
Shout out to Martin Luther
Yeah.
King.
Shout out to
Last
King
middle
School.
school graduation.
Right? Yeah. So we've been there for a couple years
No, it's just
now.
elementary.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Sick.
my class was the
I thought
last.
they had closed it down. Like
No, my
completely.
class was the one like, you know what, we're fucking done with middle schoolers. Fuck these kids.
Shut it down.
Let's deal with the little ones. They're easier. These motherfuckers are wild. No, for real, my like 6th grade, like it was wild.
Yeah.
Just starting 6th grade, I was like, fuck, this is middle school. All right.
So I'm not ready.
Yeah.
Mustache already?
See the motherfucker get sliced down Broadway. It was wild. I'm glad it is how it is nowadays. It's more safe for you kids going up there. I see the artists because I walk by like with the dog and stuff. I see the art promotion. I see the pictures of the kids all up on the wall. It's nice. It's better than what we
is that
had.
your
it.
making?
Yeah. No, that's a different program. That's like a big worldwide photographer named JR. He like goes
The
around,
pictures of the kids
yeah,
made me weak.
takes
That's
portraits
just
of
funny.
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're looking sort of tattered now. I'm gonna probably
Give it a little
get in, a little
give it
upkeep.
new look, little-
Yeah. I was thinking
Okay.
maybe even have the kids take the photos instead of like I sort of like
Okay.
building in the kids being able to
That's what you guys
take
are
the
doing
pictures.
too, right? Getting the
Yeah.
kids more involved.
Yeah, and so
hands on.
they're so the school is actually starting to accept 6th grade now.
Really?
So they're
just up to 6th grade.
up to 6th grade. I think their
Okay.
plan is
Isn't
to
that considered
eventually.
middle school still.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's
It's
different
like
districts.
now?
I know there's districts in is it Hollister or is it Gilroy maybe where schools go from like kindergarten to like 6th grade, and then you only do 3 grades or 2 grades in middle school, and then you go to high school.
Oh.
must be a
That's how
new
it was
thing.
where I went to school.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, LA. That's where they have it like that.
Huh.
Hmm.
I mean, I think their plan is to eventually keep every grade to 8th.
Oh, they're gonna go back
do
to
like K through 8th again.
Oh, okay.
But we'll see. But yeah, the kids we work with, they're 5th and 6th graders,
Nice.
so they're pretty young. You know,
Yeah.
don't really have any knowledge of photography. Really,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe a little bit on their parents' phone or something like
Yeah.
that. But
You should take in the old school camera, the one you got a zzz, zzz,
Yeah.
zzz, zzz.
yeah, so we have a dark room at our studio.
Really?
So we got the studio back in 2018. It was like the partnership. They're turning into an art school, and so they reached out to us, and we're like, "Do you guys want to partner?" And so me and my dad went in and converted the place to a studio and built a dark room.
Mm.
And so we do have that old school
Speaking of that,
film stuff going on still, and it's a combination of that and digital that we do with the kids.
I seen that you had the homie Frankie make the dark room sign.
Yes.
Yeah, shout out to Frankie.
Yeah.
Shout out
Yeah,
to
that was
Frankie.
tight.
Yeah, he's up in Santa Cruz
Yeah, I
now
got,
these days,
I got a
right?
few of his paintings.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah, he's
He yeah, we met him through we do a scholarship competition as well for local Monterey and Santa Cruz County
Nice.
kids in college and high school, and he won a
Oh,
couple
yeah.
awards
Oh, I
because he had
remember
some
that one.
killer
Yeah,
killer
bro, he's talented
photography.
as fuck. Yeah,
Yeah.
we need to get him up here.
Heck
Yeah,
yeah.
he's tight.
Nice.
I've known Frankie for a little bit.
That's
now.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you from Seaside?
I'm actually from Carmel Highlands.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
How was it like growing up over there?
It was pretty good. You know,
What was it like growing up over there? It's like 30 minutes away.
Yeah.
20
Well,
minutes
hey,
away.
I mean, it's a different
road.
I mean, it's still a different experience.
But it's definitely, it's
absolutely,
different for sure. I mean, you know, being over here, it's like the most I've been in Seaside and really gotten to know it, which has been super cool. You know, I grew up in the Highlands in my great grandfather's home. So, I mean, there's no way I could actually live in the Highlands if these days. I mean, what? Brad Pitt just bought the house right down the road from where I live for $40 million or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, damn.
And so I live on it. It's me and my family. So my family has a house, and then I have a house out back, and I help them take care of the place. And I help them take care of their business. So we do two different, types of businesses. We have the nonprofit that's here in Seaside, and then we have our for-profit, where it's me and my dad. We sell our photographs and we teach workshops around the world and stuff.
That's cool.
That's dope.
Where's the most you guys have traveled? You said you guys go around the world?
The farthest would probably just be like Europe,
Really?
like Spain. We did a couple in Spain and Germany,
Oh, shit.
Paris and stuff.
How was that?
It was fun.
Which one was the best? Germany, Spain, Paris?
Spain was the
Spain?
sickest.
Okay.
Yeah, we got to photograph in Salvador Dali's house,
Really?
like before everybody got to go there, because it's a tourist thing now.
Yeah, that's
But
sick.
but the guy we were with, somehow he got us in there before everybody, and then we also got to photograph in the Dali Museum
Yeah,
with
so
nobody
broke
there.
in. I got a key, bro.
Right? I know.
The window in the back was this. Don't worry about it.
Whoever we were with, the Spaniard guy, like had all the
He's well
connections.
connected, yeah.
So we got to see some pretty cool spots. But next year we're actually going to go back. We're going to go to Portugal and do like a week-long workshop there, and then go to Italy.
So when you say workshop, it's like teaching them how to use that old school type of photography, or
It's changed a lot. So the workshop structure started with my grandfather, and then my dad sort of picked it up. So we do figure photography. So it's all nude figure work. And over the years, it's gone from solely film and using those big 8x10 cameras, and it's sort of transitioned to mostly digital now. It's just sort of this.
Yeah, that's just the way
it's
it is
just how it
now.
is, right?
Yeah. Technology.
I mean, one thing that's good about digital camera is that you get that instant feedback. Like, so it's a lot easier to teach, right? With film, it's like you got to take the photo, then you got to take it into the darkroom and develop it,
gotta wait. Yeah.
let it dry, and then, do all this stuff to see what
Long
you actually
process.
got. So we utilize the digital, having them, show us what they got, so you can actually go through and look and talk about it. So it's, it's nice. There's a mix. Sometimes we still get people that do just the old school stuff, which is cool to see for sure. But,
Our boy Chewy does a little photography here and there.
oh, cool.
Yeah.
Gotta come by the studio.
Yeah.
studio.
We gotta,
Yeah, for sure.
we just got
Yeah.
a computer lab put up. We have a digital printer. We do digital printing.
Yeah, actually,
and
I was
stuff.
just at Green's Camera the other day buying a new CF Express card reader because I lost mine and I was
Oh
like, fuck,
shit!
I need the shit that's on it. Where the fuck is it at?
Yeah, don't you hate that?
Yeah.
It's gonna come up like a month or two.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah.
fuck, I have two now.
I know.
Yeah, he had to resort back to his Jeffrey Dahmer camera.
But it's funny because
I just want to take pictures.
But it's funny because I got the CF Express card and like the reader back when like they first came out, so it was expensive as shit.
Yeah.
So I paid like $100 back then. I paid like $180 for the fucking reader. And the other day I was like, oh shit, $60, and that's nothing, like
Classic. Yeah. I know. It's crazy how things change and technology and now film cameras are super expensive. Like
I know, it's crazy.
not too long ago you could get one for not much, and now they're just
Right?
You
Is
know,
it because like are they
Well, it's because there's like a resurgence of people like
looking for
wanting-
vintage
yeah.
stuff? That's what it is. Like it's more rare now. That's why the price is going up.
and everybody wants, because digital was cool and everything, but then it's, I don't know. I think
But
people
then
are-
everybody had it.
It's
yeah,
just-
yeah.
It's just
Everybody had it.
It's just expensive either way. Like you want something vintage, expensive. You want something new and the newest thing, expensive.
Pretty
So,
much, yeah.
Yeah.
And people
So-
want that like hands-on feel of film, I think. With me, I do film only for my fine art work and stuff. I find that digital, just like I get overwhelmed with digital because you're able to take so many photos.
That you
And then-
just- it's way too much to
Yeah,
go through.
you
and,
throw them on your computer, and I just like
You're like,
I
fuck,
can't
all
even do
30
it.
of these were good, but
Yeah.
now how am I gonna pick the best
Right?
one? You know?
Yeah. I mean, like when I shoot with film, my camera, I got 10 shots, you know, or sometimes only 2. So it's like, you got to
This
make
one
them
or this
count.
one?
It's a hassle. It's a hassle.
Yeah.
So, photography runs deep into your bloodline. You want to talk about a little bit where it started from, or
Yeah. So,
to your knowledge?
So I'm technically like the 4th generation photographer in my family. It started with my great grandfather, Edward Westin, and he is considered probably one of the more well-known photographers in photography.
Did you ever get a chance to meet him, or
No.
Okay.
No, he was. My dad was like 5 when he died.
What is the oldest photography you got, like, picture you guys have that he took?
No, we don't really have many of
No?
his. I wish. That's what people. It's funny because some of his, I think one of his photographs sold at Sotheby's for, how much was it? It was like $1.4 million.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Which is sick for
Right.
whoever has it, but we don't
don't
have
have
any.
one.
But we don't have. You know how that is, right?
Yeah.
Like the family
Yeah.
doesn't. Like it's like, oh, you didn't save any for us.
And just like, can you at least make a print?
I know, right? Come on, just like a couple aside, and it's for us retirement, you know. But yeah, we don't really have many of his, unfortunately. But yeah, Edward Weston. Then he moved to Carmel Highlands, built a house, 1938, same house we live in. He had his son build it, so it's single wall construction, no insulation.
Damn.
Just a studio. It's like so old school. My parents have kept it as it was pretty much when he was living there. So his darkroom is still there. We've put on a couple attachments just for, you know, comfortability and being able to live there. But they wanted to keep it as it was because people come from all over to see it because people were really, photographers in that era, they really looked up to Edward as far as inspiration for taking pictures. He was one of the photographers that really turned photography into an art form. So like back in the 20s, there was like this struggle with like the East Coast and the West Coast of photographers. The East Coast.
Oh, East Coast, West Coast beef.
I know, it's not all about rap, right? It's not all about rap.
Started with art.
Right? It started with photo. And so
I feel like there's always a East Coast, West Coast beef with
Straight
any
up.
art form. I think there was one with comedy, hip hop, But
And so the East Coast, like Stieglitz, they were doing really soft focused photographs to make it more look like painting.
Yeah,
So your
kind of like,
great-grandfather was
like
Tupac.
watercolors and shit. Huh?
Yeah, exactly.
All right,
yeah,
cool.
and making it look dreamy and like
Yeah.
not real. And my great grandfather was more like
Realistic.
taking it very real, everything in focus, you know, very sharp and to the point. And that people for a while were like,
What's
this
that?
isn't art, right? And so there was like a movement from that, and like a lot of people, you know, picked up on it and sort of started this whole community. And so Edward, my great grandfather, had 4 kids. 2 of them became really well-known photographers, my grandpa and my great uncle. And then my dad did photography since he was 6.
Wow.
You know, did his own work. And the work really varies between the generations and stuff, so it's sort of cool. When we do our workshops, we show like a 4-generation show of all the photographs and stuff. Have they changed? And
Everybody has their own style.
yeah, like my dad was really off the wall. He was a carpenter, and so we have the studio at our house, and he would build these crazy sets and place models in them and like do all this weird theater stuff. Versus like Edward, who was very straight, you know, simple like picture of a cactus. And then my great uncle Brett was very, you know, really contrasty, abstract pictures where you couldn't really tell what the heck you were looking at.
It made you think, you know.
Yeah, like you're like, what the, like, you know, cracked paint or like, you know, ice or something trippy. And then my grandfather Cole, he was like one of the first guys to do large format color photography. Up until then, it was mostly black and white, and he like sort of started doing the color stuff.
Did he grow up into the coloring? 'Cause I know, like, even back when TV first went to color, it was like a big deal.
Yeah.
So was it kind of like around?
So he,
that time?
yeah, that's a be interesting to see what year it was that he adopted. I know he started with black and white, and then I don't know what year specifically he switched over.
Yeah, because as you know, as the generations go, the development of photography grows, and
right,
it's like Bitcoin. He's like, I know this is gonna blow up.
Yeah, right. It's like, you know, nobody's doing it. Might as well try, right? So, and then I sort of do like a mix of stuff, you know, like I'm really into the abstract stuff, like my great uncle for the most part for now, but then teaching, you know, like do a lot of teaching at the school, which I really enjoy.
Yeah, well, we got you into the schools.
How did I get into the schools?
Well, how did you start the Westin?
Yeah. So the Westin Collective was started in 2004 by my folks because art departments were getting slashed, funding was getting slashed, darkrooms were getting shut down. You know, the kids weren't being taught about Edward Weston, Ansel Adams. I mean, because there's such a rich community, like, history of photography. I mean, like, countless photographers. Like, it's crazy. And they established the scholarship program I was talking about for high school and college kids, just to, you know, have something for the kids to look forward to in class, you know, to, like, work towards, you know, like, this semester, this year, like, I'm going to put a portfolio together. So basically, the requirement is 10 photographs printed in a box, and judges would go through them and pick the winners, and they would get a cash scholarship and have their image hung up in a show. And so that's like what started it, and, you know, just did it year after year after year. I took over in 2016, and that's when we sort of switched to, like, the Westin Collective as it is today. We established our headquarters up in Seaside, and now we teach workshops and have the youth programs and community darkroom and, like, all those different things. So before it was just my folks, that's just what they did, and I've been trying to expand it and, you know, offer it to more kids. It used to only be film photography that was accepted, but this last year we accepted digital as well, just because I think it's important to
show both worlds.
Just to get as many kids as we can, because really with film we were only pulling from like 5 local schools that still had a darkroom, and
you needed a darkroom for that.
And it's just tough. I mean, because with the Westin Scholarship Show, all the work that the kids produce, they produce at their school. So, like, during that photography class at, you know, Seaside High School or whatever. But it's a bummer. Like, I think Seaside High, they had a darkroom, and they submitted to our scholarship for a couple years. And then the teacher retired, and then the program just got cut.
Damn.
It gone.
Why do you think that is? Just because simply the teacher retired, and
they don't want to find somebody to teach it, because it's not something that everybody knows how to do, right? But I mean, you could, like, that teacher could give somebody a run through, and they could. It's not that hard to figure out, but I just think it's like the opportunity to cut it and put money somewhere else, and like the other STEM
automatically.
They want to put it into the field or something. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
It's like, you know, it's just
football field.
Nah, they didn't.
They need a new turf.
Them lights be bright as fuck. They probably invest into the lights.
Right?
I could see him from Marina, dog.
For real. Thought it was a storm.
It's a shame, because I remember being middle school, and a couple years I had art class, and then they cut it. You know? And it's like,
what?
And then you go to high school. We did have art class in high school, though. But I know they cut it from the middle school. They cut a lot of stuff out of there. I remember. The only thing they really kept was, like, the band or music, whatever it was. But I don't want to do that shit. I want to do the art, you know?
Caught in that, I know. It just seems like those are the programs that just get cut the quickest.
Loose,
And, like, what I've seen just from my short period of time teaching, you know, up here in Seaside, is that a lot of the kids who don't do super well in the very structured, you know, whatever science, technology curriculum, when they get into, you put a camera in their hands, and they're usually some of the best students. Because not everybody's brain, especially my brain, like, I sucked at standardized tests and all, sitting down and like
filling in the bubbles,
SAT and all that
Like, yeah, isn't it weird that like, oh, you're based off only these type of tests? Like, why not give a kid like a camera or like or just microphone or even a pencil and a blank paper and let them like doodle.
Yeah.
They might just create something crazy.
Exactly.
So
that's
interesting.
Sort of why another like one reason about having these programs is just to like give those kids that need that. I mean, because some kids just need that as like a creative outlet to do something that they can like just chill and
sort of be good at something other than whatever they're telling you need to be good at.
Yeah, exactly.
You felt like you were one of those kids growing up in school?
Yeah, I mean, I was decent at school just because I don't know. I didn't. I just I just was able to figure it out. But I didn't like learn that much.
And you're in Carmel all school years? Nice. How was it going to school in Carmel?
It was all right. Yeah, it was good. I mean, I just played sports, surfed, just
living the life.
Yeah, living the life.
Nice,
I guess.
Nice. Hell yeah.
So,
what kind of sports did you play?
I played water polo,
soccer,
polo. And
swim.
Shit.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think I'd say football.
My parents wouldn't let me play football.
No.
I was like, all right, I guess I'll play water polo.
So earlier you told us that photography wasn't something you kind of wanted to do at first, but then you came around to it. Why was it? Was it just you trying to figure yourself out?
Was it the pressure that everybody was giving you?
Like you said.
Yeah.
Trying to live up to the great grandpa's image.
I think it had to do with just like the pressure of it. My parents never forced it on me, which was probably a good thing. Like never, my dad was like, "Oh, we're giving you a camera, or I'm getting you in the dark room." Like, never even talked about it. But like I was saying, I would go to these openings, like these gallery openings, and like I swear everybody would ask me, "Have you started photographing yet?" Like I was supposed to be like this, like I was gonna be a
protege.
Yeah. And I'm like, dude, I don't give a shit about photography. Like I'm in middle school and like high school, like I'm just not doing it. Like it's just not even.
Play sports and get laid, bro.
Right? Yeah. Like it's not even on the page. But I didn't take photography at class. I did other shit, and I was surrounded by it my whole life. I mean, going to those openings, we always had artist friends coming over, showing work, and interacting that way. So I didn't pick up a camera until I was 22. So I was like in college. I went to San Diego State for a couple of years, and I came back and finished at CSUMB. So it was when I was up at CSUMB, I just I don't know what really clicked, but I was just like asked my dad to teach me how to do it. I was like, I should at least know how to do it, right? Yeah. How to do darkroom if I'm going to be in this family. Yeah. And just sort of picked it up after that. I was like, oh, I sort of
Did
like
it feel natural? Like, oh.
Yeah, it felt pretty good. Felt pretty natural. As a kid, I remember like being like 3 years old, like sleeping in front of the heater in the darkroom when my dad was working in the mornings.
You were harnessing all the energy from your ancestors like a spirit bomb.
Exactly. I'm just like...
how'd your dad feel when you finally asked him like how to...
Oh, he was stoked.
Yeah?
For sure.
So I've waited 22 years
for this. 2 years for this. Thank God.
Put down what he was doing.
He opens the saves, gives them all the stuff.
Yeah. Pretty much. No, he was stoked. And like, I mean, he's like the best teacher I could ask for, right? I mean, have a darkroom on site, and any questions or whatever. It's like, and like the way with photography, a lot of times photographers are very technical people. Sometimes they can be very like technical about their cameras or
the style they do,
or like what computer, whatever. But like, we're just not really like that. Like at workshops, it's funny. Like people are always talking about their lenses or what cameras they have, and like, but people always like ask my dad, like like what kind of lenses do you have? And my dad's like, I have one lens, and I don't even know how long it is. Like it doesn't even matter.
Throw that shit on. Yeah. It looks good.
Yeah. It's the one that it came with, bro.
Yeah, as long as it's like the one you have that you know how to use is all that matters.
Just master that one.
Yeah. So that's like sort of what we teach. Like you master your tools so you know exactly what you're going to get when you use it. It's like never a mistake, right? Like when you go out and photograph, for sure you're gonna nail it.
Exactly.
It's not like, oh, maybe it will come out, maybe not.
Experimenting with a lens. Let me try this.
Which can be fun. It can be fun,
Yeah,
but like
but
in the end, if you're going out to like take photos, like you want to come back with
what you want.
good photos, right?
Yeah. I remember when the fisheye was pretty popular. It was pretty trendy. Like a lot of like almost every other music video on YouTube was like fisheye lens. Did you get some experience with the fisheye?
Never got
lens?
into fisheye.
No.
No.
What'd you think of the fisheye?
It's pretty sick. I saw most of it through like skate videos, which
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's where it started.
Yeah.
It started with skate videos, and then
Yeah.
they threw some music in the background.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of like worked its way up into music videos.
Yeah. I actually I teach a community darkroom course for like community members over in the space on Mondays and Wednesdays from 6 to 9. So I have 7 film photographers from the area come in, and we do darkroom, and it's just sort of like a fun creative space to do film, because I think we might be the only community darkroom around.
Just
the only
one,
one,
yeah.
right? And it's funny about the fisheye, because there is one member that's in there that she's doing the fisheye with film, and it's like the trippiest stuff. Like I'll have to show you guys sometime.
Yeah,
what she's doing.
Yeah, it seems pretty gutsy,
Yeah, I know. But it makes you like, what the hell? Because it's like this weird ass.
Right, it looks like you're falling in, but
Yeah.
you're far away.
Especially with like a landscape shot with all these trees and it's a trip. But there's a lot of what's cool about this community course is the first time we've done it, is just to see all the different kinds of stuff that people are creating and doing, right? Because like I was raised very traditional, it got passed down from the great grandfather all the way down. So it's
big
like
shoes to fill, huh?
right. It's like, but it's like you do this and then this. It's very
stepwise, very calculated,
exactly.
organized.
And then it's cool to see these other artists that don't have that necessarily ingrained, and so they're doing some crazy shit and they get some really cool stuff. And so it's like a learning experience for me too, to be like, okay, like it's cool to
Maybe
step
it's not
out.
just like this.
Like you can
It
step
could be
out,
like this,
right?
yeah.
So
You can
that's-
zigzag the steps,
Yeah, exactly.
Did you feel pressured from doing all the steps? You feel like, man, like, why can't I just skip 2 all the way to 5 and get to 8 already,
At this point, because how I was taught to do it like that, it's like second nature. It's just like, that's just how it just seems like the flow is super nice. It's really simple. People, when they come and they see my great grandfather's darkroom and they look at it, they're like amazed by how small it is and like the kind of work that he produced. It's literally like, I don't know, the size of this couch. Like it's such a small space. And so an enlarger is how you usually enlarge little pieces of film like onto a piece of paper. He didn't have an enlarger. He just had a light bulb, and he was doing contact prints, which means the negatives are the same size as the print. So he's shooting this big camera with this big piece of film, place it on a piece of paper, flip it over, turn the light on, and that was it.
Damn.
And they come in, they're like, what? This is like,
Really
you don't
good
need
hearing.
much.
I expected a whole lab.
Yeah. I mean, because, Ansel Adams, he lives down the street, or he lived. His darkroom is massive. It's this totally different style. I mean, he has enlargers on railroad tracks. So he can he shines his image onto the wall. So you can make like massive prints and stuff like that. So it's just interesting, you don't need much. Yeah. And he used an egg timer, my great grandfather, for like the developing time, because it was 3 minutes. So he just has this little
timer.
That's nice.
That's dope.
it's.
So you say your grandfather had a style, your uncle, your dad. What's your style?
Yeah. My style, it's hard for me to like classify it. I mean, my dad talks about it because we do like a 4-generation talk, and he'll talk about it, but I don't really know. I mean, I'm trying to establish it, right?
What does your dad say your style is? Did he say like did he give it a definition, or
It's almost like a combo of everything. I think at this point I'm still trying to like figure out what I'm gonna do. Right? I mean, I've done figures, I've done landscapes, abstracts. I mean, right? I mean, everything at this point has already been photographed, pretty much.
Would you say maybe your style is the one that you most enjoy?
I could see that.
And is there one that you most enjoy?
The abstract stuff.
The abstract?
Heavily
Okay.
black, white. You know, the ones that just are punchy looking.
Yeah, like contrast.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The ones that's what I like. I like, at least right now, that's sort of what I'm working on, doing it. Yeah. Like, we have a piece of property down the coast with a pond, and they're just like the craziest reflections in it. And like I could just sit there and just photograph the light hitting the water.
Yeah.
And you get just the craziest looking stuff. It's just a trip.
It's dope.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it's crazy what a photographer sees, because someone else was come see the water and the light. I was like, oh, that looks good, but someone else, like, you know, with your eye, will see something completely different.
Yeah, I mean that's what's cool about photography, right? Is that like it's a way of seeing how like somebody else sees the world, right? It's a trip,
yeah.
you know. I mean,
And
I
then-
always wish
yeah.
I could draw, but I suck at drawing. You know?
Just capture the moment.
And so I was like, shit, I guess photography
that's a
has to be
photographer
it.
thing, because it's the same thing. My wife is like really good at like art, but
Yeah.
I'm terrible at anything
Yeah.
having to do with drawing. I'm like that's not my thing. That's why I became a photographer.
Right? You're like, I can't draw. Fuck. No, it's true. But for sure, it's like just nice to be able to capture. I like capturing like the unordinary and making it ordinary. I mean, sorry, the ordinary and making it unordinary, if that makes
Okay.
any sense. You know?
Makes sense.
I like that.
How would you do that? By editing or?
I don't really edit my photos that much. So just using the light. I mean, it's all about light.
Just like manipulating the
Right.
setting or
Yeah,
to
and
your
with
liking,
and with film and stuff, you're really limited to how much you can really do. I
Mhm.
mean, you can darken and lighten
Mhm.
pieces of it. And so like it's basically just looking for like what the light's hitting, right? And knowing your camera and knowing that what your film is going to pick up, you know, and doing the metering so you don't blow anything out and all that stuff. So it's just like
So basically, just what you could see is
Yeah.
what you're taking a picture of.
yeah, capturing the light. I mean, that's a big thing because a lot of times when I first was starting, like I would take a picture of something where I thought the light was going to be killer, and it sucked, and then I would take something that but then it like popped. So it's just like
How does this work?
I know, you're like, what the fuck? So it's just like
It's opposite.
doing it, experimenting and like figuring out like, will this actually look good, you know, and like, you know, photographing on a cloudy day is, to me, from what I do, way better than a sunny day, because a sunny day is just going to be super harsh light,
Yeah.
and the clouds, you know, make that, you know, huge softbox, so everything sort of has a universal tone, and then you can play with it from there.
Right.
So, you know.
So what's the ultimate goal for your nonprofit here? Like, what do you want to achieve, or what is your mission statement, I guess?
Yeah, so I mean, we're basically inspiring and uplifting the next generation of photographers through all of our programs that we do. I would really love to see the Westin scholarship branch out farther than Monterey and Santa Cruz counties. For many years, it was just Monterey. The last 2 years, I decided we should start doing Santa Cruz.
Mhm.
I mean, it'd be awesome if that scholarship could expand up and down California, you know, or even go, you know, international or whatever. But that's one goal. Try to get that thing massive.
Yeah.
You know, 2 is just creating more youth programs at our space, offering more community workshops. I think there's a lot of potential with the youth programs. You know, with the after school program that we're doing right now, we're doing a project called Facing Seaside.
Okay. Tell us about
It's-
that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it started actually earlier this year. The idea was to, you know, we had been shut down because of COVID, so we really are just getting back in this, you know, the space and the community. And so we picked 5 businesses to highlight, talk to them, figure out what their story was, take their portrait, take a picture of maybe like a product in their shop.
Is this when you work with the homie from like Tortuga and the bakery?
That's the second one.
Okay.
But yeah,
Nice.
so that's what we're doing with them.
Yeah.
The first round was just us taking the photos. It's basically the same thing, except this go around, I'm having the students take the portraits and having the students take the product shots. Because if I'm just taking it, I'm like, what?
This is gonna be a
cares?
repeat.
Yeah, I saw you guys did that with the Morales brothers, right?
Morales.
The
Lupitas?
the bakery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got Lupitas, La Tortuga
Mhm.
for this go around.
Yeah, the kids were
Generation
taking their photos.
Ave. Yeah.
I seen the video. That was cool.
Yeah. And Lynn's Arcade, and Counterpoint Coffee Shop. So we got 5 businesses we got going. It's just it's a cool way to, get positive role models in front of these kids. Also, to show like these guys are like,
It's another
and
side.
gals are like killing it in the community. They're
Right.
running businesses. They're successful. They're providing all this stuff to the community. Also show the kids that there are ways to make money through photography, with portrait photography, product photography, event photography. I mean, there are ways. I mean, there is a stigma with photography that you can't make any money off of it, right? But there are ways.
I've seen people make
It's just
Killings.
like it really just
I mean,
self-marketing,
your
you
grandpa
know.
made 1 point what?
Yeah.
off of
Right? Yeah.
Right, right. And how much is that house worth today?
Yeah.
I bet.
I don't know.
Probably got some offers, no?
No, it would just, if somebody bought that house, they would just tear it down.
Yeah, they want
Yeah, most likely because you said it was still built from.
Yeah,
It's still how it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like the house that I'm living in was actually the first property on the first building on the property. So it's like super old, It started as like a garage and then a garden shed and then a writing studio, and now it's like
Okay,
a
it all
little,
transforming.
Yeah. Yeah.
keeps adding on.
keeps adding.
No, that's dope though that you guys decided to keep all that because that's really history right there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's like a living museum for sure. But
Right.
But yeah, the Facing Seaside, back to that, we do have the exhibition for this go around is on November 11th.
Okay.
It's at our studio from 5 to 8. We're gonna have all the businesses up. We're gonna be printing and framing all the student work and have it up in our studio.
Where is this gonna be at the?
At our studio in Seaside.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, at Martin Luther King School of the Arts.
Okay.
Oh, is
Yeah.
it inside the school?
Yeah. Yeah, it's so we're in the B wing, which is like where the old adult school used to be. So
Yeah.
there's like a side entrance.
Okay.
So you can park on the street, and there's like a red door, like spray painted darkroom on it, so you know when to come in. But yeah, I'm just trying to. We're working on that. We've taken all the portraits the kids have, and so now they're just figuring out how to edit. And I don't think these kids have much computer knowledge at this point either. So it's like sort of cool, like all the different things we're able to hit. With this, it's not just photo. There's a lot of different layers.
Yeah,
of,
I feel it's
skills.
kind of like an instrument. Like you know what I mean. You just mess around with the instrument, then you find something, and you find what works. And so I feel like maybe a computer and a camera is probably similar way. You know,
Totally.
you might not necessarily learn it step by step, but now I know what this button does.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what happens when I switch it to this. So I know
Right.
what happens. Yeah,
Totally.
so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's cool to see him just like, from the first day picking up the camera, not knowing anything, to like now knowing the settings, knowing how to blur backgrounds or like freeze motion and how to turn an image to black and white and do editing and how to save it or even how to create a new folder. Like they didn't know how to make a new folder.
Kind of like a Rubik's Cube, you're just trying to figure it out.
Right, yeah. And now they're all, it's pretty cute. They're all like begging to get into the dark room, because they want to do like the film with the chemistry and all that stuff. So once we complete this project, then I'll move them all into the dark room and start doing the old school.
Yeah, but maybe there could be a dark room at the school. No?
Yeah.
Possible.
One thing that I want to do is, instead of like these programs that get shut down, is for us to set up satellite programs where they don't shut them down. So like Seaside High, for an example, like if they shut their program down but still had the facility, like we would come in and teach and set up some sort of agreement that like we could, have free rent, teach for free, but utilize the space to do after school programs and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that'll be awesome too.
So that's like another thing that I want to start doing, because there's a lot of schools in this county. I mean, all the way down to King City.
Yeah.
And I think like I've tried reaching out to South County before. There's some photography programs down there. And I think I was right before COVID, so things got shut. So now I just have to revisit it and
Make sure they still
try to get those kids. Just now that we have the studio, I can just even get them up and just like come to the studio and be like a weekend trip,
right?
Make some pictures and stuff. So,
how was the COVID time for you? Like, how did that affect you?
It was pretty rough since we were at the school. We were totally shut down. Couldn't operate, nothing like that.
Thoughts? What kind of thoughts were running through your head when like all that was going down? You're like, oh shit, man.
It was a bummer because we it was like the first, like we were just getting started, right? Like we got in 2018, remodeled it all. 2019, we had like our first group of kids, and it went really well. And then it was just like, nope,
2020,
done. I had all these workshops scheduled, and all that got shut down. But we just transitioned to online stuff, like still did fundraising, still did the Westin scholarship. We just had to do it online.
More tougher though, less of a like personal connection.
Yeah, it's a different feel. Just love that feel of like a tangible image that you can like look at and flip through, and it's just not the same when it's uploaded to a screen.
Yeah,
for me. I mean, we always teach like just the print's not finished until it's like up on the wall, right? I mean. Okay. If it stays on your computer, I mean, is it really a photograph?
Is it really? It's not out.
It's just in the photo library. That's all.
I mean, it might not be a photograph unless
it's out.
Yeah.
I know there is some debate about that, about like digital photography. Like, is digital photography? Because traditionally, photography is like
something in the frame, or
like a piece of paper with photosensitive chemistry on it. And like a digital photo isn't that.
Or now like a print, and then now things are just getting printed out. Like it didn't come from necessarily a snapshot camera thing.
Right.
It is getting printed out from a computer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're hitting Control P.
Yeah, exactly.
So I can see the debates on that.
Right
that is one debate. I think like in some people, because some people, even with Photoshop, like they'll take a photograph and they'll change it so much that it looks like a painting. And it's like, do you wish you were a painter? You just can't paint? Or what's the deal? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I can see that debate though.
Yeah, I have seen some crazy art where like someone does a portrait off a pencil and it looks like a picture.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
So maybe they should be a photographer.
Yeah. So I was like, is there like a line? You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you guys find yourselves like blending in with artists like that in a way?
Sort of. Not so much. I mean, we just come from that's traditional old school style. Like we're so set in it personally that,
which isn't a bad thing.
Yeah.
If someone wasn't set on there, it'd be a dying art.
Yeah.
Like people wouldn't know how to get to it anymore.
Right.
It's like you see films and it's like all these old school stuff, and then you're like, well, I wonder where someone can learn that from back in the day.
Right.
And you guys are keeping that alive.
Yeah. I mean that's like part of our thing is we're trying to keep it going, and I still get excited from it. I think like if there's a point where I'm like bored, then maybe I'll do something with it. Like my dad, he's been doing photography for so many years, 50, 60 years. He paints on his photographs now with like oil paints.
Okay, giving it like a little layer of like brightness. Yeah.
So he'll print out in the darkroom like a black and white, put it up on an easel, and then take oil paints and like paint the shit out of it. It's pretty cool.
Is that something they started doing
tracing?
Newish?
Newish, okay.
Yeah, he'll just, because he's not a painter, so he doesn't really know how to paint. So he'll just like use his fingers and stuff, like, and he does have a paintbrush, but he does a very like a different approach. And what's cool about it is that, photography is such a fragile art, you know, like the surface is so fragile, like you can't ding it or scratch it. But once you start putting paint on it, or like a painting, the surface you can pretty much manhandle it to a certain extent, right? Like,
I want to see a picture of that. I want to see a picture of that.
Yeah.
You can show us at the end.
Yeah. I'll have to find you some stuff. It's cool. It transforms it, you know. But that's, you know.
Is that something he found, like, maybe surfing through YouTube? Or is it something like, oh, I'm just going to start painting this photograph or something?
It started out, his best friend was a painter.
Okay.
And they were like, let's do a collab. So my dad would do the printing and his buddy Reed Farrington would do the painting. And they were like, wow, this is actually pretty cool. And then it just sort of turned into my dad after a while doing it himself. Yeah. So it started from a collaboration. I'm not sure whose idea it was to do it first, but
it sparked something. Yeah,
Right?
it sparked something.
you know, it adds another layer to it. You know,
That might be the new wave that's coming.
You never know.
It's like, I don't know if you've seen it, like with the shoes, where people take the Air Forces One and they start.
Everybody's doing that
Taking it
now.
to their own thing.
Everybody's doing that.
They
bro.
just painted it one color and like, y'all selling these for 180 or best offer, holla at me. Bro, you just painted it one color. You just bought some new shoelaces that were a different color.
And drilled holes in it.
And you drilled holes in it, bro. Come on now. Come on. But yeah, but it is what it is, man. But how do you feel about the students nowadays? Like, how do you feel like they're responding to these programs?
It's interesting. You know, these kids don't really have, I mean, it's weird. Okay, so like I have photo albums of film, right? Like at home. I don't know if you guys have those or not, but
Baby pictures, you know?
yeah, like these kids don't have that.
They don't.
That's right.
They have
That's
Everything's on the
crazy.
They have zero concept of what
All their baby
film
photos is in an iCloud.
yeah, in the cloud. Straight
It's
up
in the
in the cloud.
cloud.
So it's like, it's so bizarre to me and to them, I think, that like, you know, usually you start with film and then you go to digital. But now with them, we have to start with digital and go to film because they just don't have that concept of what film is.
So you mean this piece of paper is a photo?
Yeah.
I thought the thing in my phone is a photo.
Right? It's like when we get in the dark room and you actually put that print in the developer and it comes up. I mean, they're like, what the? They get
What kind of magic is this? Kind of
Straight up
witchcraft?
magic,
It's
yeah.
definitely something that's mind blowing.
Yeah.
Like we grew up in it where, okay, you know, you took it to Walgreens
Yeah.
and they take it and they did the dark room and everything.
And you're like,
That's normal, you know, but there's kids that never experienced that.
At all.
You know?
Yeah.
You go to Walgreens, plug in your phone, and it just prints them out.
Right?
Crazy.
It's trippy. I mean, they're picking it up pretty well with the digital. I think
Nice.
like we'll see with the film. I mean, they want to do it so bad, and I'm like, do you guys really want to? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because
So your
like
confidence is
it's
I
like
don't
yeah,
know.
it's like how confident are you? Because it can be pretty frustrating in the beginning to like you know if you're processing it yourself. I mean, you go out and you take 36 pictures. And none of them come out. You're like,
They're all blurry.
yeah. You're like, what the hell?
Finger,
am I
the
doing?
finger was in front of
Yeah.
the lens the whole time.
Exactly.
Did you ever see
Yeah.
one of those? I mean, it was like in the corner, but you're like, oh man, thank God.
Tip.
Yeah, thank God it was just like in the corner, you know?
Looks
Right?
like a mountain. Looks like a mountain.
Yeah.
For reals.
So it will be interesting to see how the transition goes, but
Nice.
they're you know they're doing well with the digital and the editing, and they're getting some good stuff. You know,
That's
the
good, man.
portraits are looking good. We got all the portraits ready, so we're just gonna start printing them soon. And
Young proteges, right?
yeah, right. I know, and it's cool that we were talking about how they are keeping the extra grades. Like I hope they do keep them because once the sixth graders, they're just gone, right? It's sort of a bummer. Before I was just even with only fifth. The sixth grade is like a new thing they've done where they've kept them, so at least get like 2 years to work with the kids.
Yeah.
So that's why these satellite programs would be awesome to establish, like at Seaside Middle School, because it's like once they go there, it's like I can't get them.
Yeah, you
Because-
can't keep in contact with them. huh?
Yeah, transportation is. I'm
Yeah.
trying to figure out transportation, but it's just a real issue with liability and all that stuff. Because what I really want to do is like have like a bus and take kids like on field trips to like the wharf and like all these cool places. I mean, there's just so many.
Aquarium,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's so many beautiful places that they might not have ever even seen.
Yeah.
That would be cool to like take them to and have them photograph.
Mm-hmm.
So I just really want to be able to just like extend the time I get to work with the kids and also like be able to provide those kind of experiences for them, you know.
Yeah, man. I hope so. Because
Some
that sounds
summer
really
field
dope.
trip will be tight.
Yeah.
All right.
So they're gonna spark a lot of minds, man.
Yeah,
Right.
you know how many Hispanic photographies he created? Mijo, tomate a foto. Mijo, you did it at school, right? Yeah, take it.
But a Facebook. But a
Yeah,
Facebook.
Facebook.
Oh, and one thing I did want to mention before we end,
yeah.
We just started an artist in residency program. I don't know if you guys know Thumbsy, Jorge Torres.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's going to be our first artist in residence. He's going to be with us from October to December. He's going to be painting a mural in our studio, as well as
He's
producing.
about to go in. You give him
Yeah.
2 months. Oh, he's about to kill it.
I know. And he's going to produce 15 original photographs.
Wow.
And he's going to bring them into the studio. We're going to edit them and print them and have a show
Nice.
sometime in the new year. So
That's dope.
And
pretty
you said
stoked on
the,
that.
The next show is November 11th.
November 11th.
Okay,
Yeah.
right there. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Dark room.
The kids work. Yeah. Yeah. So
Nice,
things have been
man.
good.
That's tight.
Nice,
That's
man.
tight.
So, speaking of kids,
Yeah.
are you having thoughts about the 5th generation photographer? Passing on the legacy, passing on tradition.
yet.
It'll be soon. One of these days.
One of these days, for sure.
It's gotta happen, right?
Yeah.
I can't be the one that just does it.
It's right there. It's your fault.
Tell you, man, there's more weight every
I
time,
know.
more weight on the
More
shoulders.
pressure.
It's like I thought
More
I broke through the
pressure,
pressure. It's like no,
Now you gotta make sure that they're good. You know what I mean? That, oh man, so
it's never
But, man,
ending.
It's never,
but that's dope, man. You're doing something really positive. You're doing really something
real.
dope in the community.
that's really tight.
Thank you
I'm sure.
guys.
That,
Yeah.
I'm sure the kids appreciate you, and you know what I mean. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going. Westin Collective.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. Follow them on at the Westin Collective on Instagram. Any other
Yeah,
social sites
Facebook,
or
Twitter.
yeah.
I got Facebook. Yeah.
Okay,
and
for sure.
TikTok.
The same way. The
TikTok.
Westin Collective.
Okay.
TikTok,
Nice.
Westin Collective.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Go follow them.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, they got the highlight stories. You know, the dark room after school program, print work, wet plate, facing Seaside, second Saturday. Almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's
That's
dope.
dope. For sure.
And where
And
could people purchase any of your photographies or any stuff like that?
On our website, thewestincollective.org.
Okay. Okay.
Dot
Nice.
org.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Thank you, bro.
No,
had
thank
fun,
you
had
guys.
fun.
Yeah, this is
Yeah, that's
rad.
cool, yeah.
Heck yeah.
Appreciate you coming by, man.
yeah.
Stoked.
For real,
Appreciate
for
you,
real.
man.
This
So
is
next time,
awesome.
people, make sure y'all subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell for the next episode.
Subscribe, like.
You know what I'm saying, man? It's what we do out here, man. Community. 831 shit.
Yes,
You know what I'm
sir.
saying?
From Carmel to Seaside.
Yes,
From the
sir.
Highlands to Seaside.
From the dark rooms to the bright rooms, baby. You know what I mean? We get
Dark
it.
room to the light. Come on, man.
Let there be light. Slide through.
Slide
You're